Our next guest will be no stranger to anyone who subscribes to my newsletter, Get Hired Australia, which is the place to be if you're a job seeker. Jane Jackson is a career coach, she's a mentor, and she's always providing advice for anyone who's on LinkedIn. So Jane, thank you so much for being here with us today.
Hello, Cayla. It's lovely to be back.
Absolutely. Now, let's talk about students for a moment. If you're thinking about what industry you want to get into, what job, and data like Jobs on the Rise comes out that tells you that, Chief Human Resources Officer is a big role, machine learning engineer is a growing role. How important is it to understand whether the role you're interested in is a growing industry or not?
Oh, absolutely, because you could be very passionate about a certain direction, but if there aren't many roles going in that area, then all the education and the passion in the world is not going to get you very far. So it's important to identify, first of all, what is important to you in a career. And then if you've identified the industry that you'd like to be in, what are the companies within that industry and what's happening with them? Actually, one of the best things that they could do is to hop onto LinkedIn and have a look at the business pages of certain companies that you want to target. And there's data within LinkedIn that will tell you how that company is growing and how many new hires there have been month by month. So if you notice that there's a trend and there are many roles that are being advertised there, and also, good thing about LinkedIn is that it tells you the types of roles that are in demand as well, then you'll know that if you're actually targeting an area that will be in a growth area, and if you marry that with your passion and purpose and what the skills that you enjoy and the skills that you are highly skilled in, then that would be a perfect match.
That is a really savvy way to look at it. Now, I've got a fun question from Hannah in the comments. She's saying that over the course of the coronavirus pandemic, she taught herself making sourdough, knitting, other things like that. Should those skills go on your CV?
If they're relevant. If they're not relevant to the direction that you want to go into, then no. But if it demonstrates a skill set that perhaps in your actual job you haven't had that opportunity. For example, say you don't have much opportunity to demonstrate your creativity in your current role, but during COVID you've developed these amazing skills and you've started making sourdough and cupcakes and whatever else it may have been. It could demonstrate that, oh, you know what, during times of challenge, I've been able to rise above that, and I've been able to find other ways in which to occupy my time, learn a new skill, and also find a new passion. And you know what's really interesting is so many of my clients, when they're interviewing for jobs now, their employers have asked them, or potential employers have asked them, what did you do during COVID? What did you learn? How did you overcome the challenges? And those who are able to talk about how they actually use that downtime productively, they interview very, very well. So if your next role that you're targeting actually needs some of those new skills that you have learned during COVID, leverage them for sure.
Absolutely. That's a great way to put it, that if it shows off your creativity or if it shows off your resilience, then that's worthwhile. Now, in terms of this idea of the great resignation or the great reshuffle, there has been a lot of talk and also data backing it up that right now there's a lot of Australians who are looking for that next job. Is that something that you're seeing?
Oh, yes, a lot. I've become very, very busy with my career coaching clients, especially the past few months and coming up to the end of 2021, because all of that time that we've had to ourselves to do all that walking during COVID, people have started to realize that, oh, it really is nice to have the flexibility to be with my family. Of course, it's possible to work from home. And you'll remember before COVID, it was so hard to negotiate for flexibility and work from home. Well, now many people are embracing it. And so many studies have shown that most employees, even though they're very happy, they may be very happy to go back into the office, what they would prefer is a hybrid arrangement. So to be able to work from home some of the time, to be able to be in the office, for that face-to-face connection some of the time as well.
Absolutely. And if you're one of those people who really wants that hybrid working environment and you've got yourself a job interview, when do you bring it up? Do you put it in the cover letter? Do you wait until you're being interviewed? When's the best time to say what it is you want to make this job perfect?
Okay, well, during the application process, you don't need to say exactly, I want this and I want that, because already you're putting in limitations. What you want is to get your foot in the door for an interview so that people can see you as an individual. And whether it's via a Zoom call or Microsoft Teams or face-to-face, people need to meet you, get to know you. And you know what? It doesn't matter what it says on your resume. Your attitude counts for so much more. And much as what Alex was saying earlier, your passion and your determination, your adaptability, your personality, all of that comes through during an interview. And so if you feel that, oh, maybe my skill sets are lacking a little bit in this area, but you know what, I can learn, demonstrate your potential to learn. Give examples of how you've got up to speed really quickly in the past. Show that you have creativity and curiosity and you want to better yourself, because skills can be taught, but attitude is intrinsic. And if you've got a really good attitude, a lot of employers are hiring for attitude, because if you've got a good attitude, you will learn, you will be productive, you will get along with your peers, and you're going to make a great effort, and it'll show through in your values as well.
Most definitely. It's such wonderful advice that's coming through from all of the speakers today, that if you are passionate, you can find a way, and employers value that passion, sometimes more so than all of the training in the world. So Jane, thank you so much for being here today and sharing your advice. We really appreciate you being part of Jobs Bootcamp.